So Trump has seen quite a resurgence in the polls in recent days, or I should say recent weeks. He's been hammering Ron DeSantis over cutting Social Security and Medicare. DeSantis has supported that. Trump is a fierce opponent of it. This is an area where Trump is definitely has the majority of the American people on his side, and probably the majority of the Republican base as well. And he's been doing the very clever thing of going around saying, I don't like the name Meatball Ron. I never wanted to use that. I never wanted to go for it. Meatball Ron is a very disrespectful name. I wouldn't call him Meatball Ron, but many people are saying he's Meatball Ron. He's doing that over and over. And it's brilliant because he's not saying it while he's also saying it. It's just, it's like classic Trump. He went to East Palestine. His numbers went up when he did that. It's just been, every single day, seemingly, he's back to the old Trump. By the way, there was another article that came out with other potential nicknames for Ron DeSantis. Of course, he went with Ron DeSanctimonious. Sometimes he makes that shorter and says Ron DeSanctus. Which is funny because it's like, Sanctus is not an abbreviation for sanctimonious. He just uses it like everybody knows Sanctus means sanctimonious. It's such classic Trump. One of the new nicknames that was floated, I hope you're sitting for this, Tiny D. Bruh. Bruh. Don't tell me he's not back. He's back. I was the one who was, banging the drum the loudest after the midterms when Trump seemed like there was no hope. He couldn't shut up about the 2020 election. He was saying terminate the Constitution. He was doing so bad. DeSantis was up in a bunch of polls. And then seemingly he flipped a switch and said, oh, wait, I know how to be a better politician than this. I know how to do good PR. And he just went at it. So now Trump he's at Mar-a-Lago every day playing golf and hobnobbing with rich people and probably having geriatric orgies. And he released this video, and it's these new ideas that he has about how to make the country amazing. Let's go through it, and I'll break it down.
Almost 1/3 of the landmass of the United States is owned by the federal government, with just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 1/2 of 1%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. Another big opportunity is in transportation. Dozens of major companies in the United States and China are racing to develop vertical takeoff and landing vehicles for families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century, I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility. These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families and our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big and very, very successful, we will turn forgotten communities into hives of industry, producing the goods we will no longer import from China. We will also have a major initiative on lowering the cost of living with a special focus on lowering the cost of a new car and lowering the cost to build a single-family home. And they will be beautiful homes. And I will ask Congress to support baby bonuses for young parents to help launch a new baby boom. Finally, I'll challenge the governors of all 50 states to join me in a great modernization and beautification campaign, getting rid of ugly buildings, refurbishing our parks and our public spaces, making cities and towns more livable, ensuring a pristine environment, and building towering monuments to our true American heroes. Very importantly, I will also make sure all of these new places are safe. We love and cherish our police. They will do the job the way they have to. It is time to start talking about greatness for our country again. I will dramatically increase living standards and build a future that brings our country together through excitement, opportunity, and success. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's go through these ideas one by one here. And look, I'll let everybody know up front, I'm the fairest person on planet Earth. You will never meet a single person who is more fair than yours truly. So here we go. Number one, use federal land to build new cities. Okay, not gonna lie, not bad. I kind of like that idea. Now, here's the big problem with it, though, in my opinion. Other than that, it's not going to happen, because it's not. Like, he's talking a big game. We're gonna have flying cars. It's gonna be tremendous. It's gonna be unbelievable. Literally, even if he gets elected, none of this stuff will happen. Hear me now, quote me later. Okay, but I digress from that point. That's like a side point. I like the idea of building new cities, but I find that a little silly when step one should be fix our current cities. Call me crazy. Like, that's the thing that stands out to me, is instead of building new futuristic cities, like, why don't you actually improve the cities we already have, which are in desperate need of repair and to makeover? And for all this talk about we're going to do all these amazing, tremendous, incredible things, an infrastructure bill was just passed. And it was passed by Joe Biden. We're going to bring jobs to places that don't have the jobs. The CHIPS Act just passed. That was by Joe Biden. So we're bringing back microchip manufacturing to this country. We're bringing back electric vehicle manufacturing. We're bringing back battery manufacturing. These are all things that came out recently. There's been a net increase of about 350,000 jobs. We're onshoring jobs for the first time in my lifetime. Under Trump, we outsourced 200,000 jobs. So again, this is classic, like, he's all talk. He's all talk. That's just a fact. He's all talk. Okay, but I'm being fair here. I do think that the idea of new cities is a cool idea. I would just say the first thing you have to do is actually fix our current cities. Because I don't know if you know this, we have a lot of them. We have a lot of cities that are very large. You know, these metropolitan hubs, millions of people in all these different places. Like, what do we build new ones? Okay, I can get on board with that, but first you got to fix what we have. Anyway, develop flying cars. I mean, we have these things called helicopters. It's kind of like what you're talking about, but of course they're not used by the majority of the population. Not everybody has a helicopter, like most people have a car, right? I think that one was just a little goofy, because I don't foresee that coming in the near future or even the distant future, honestly, because that's a whole can of worms. Revitalize rural industries. Again, we're already starting to do that with the CHIPS Act, with provisions of the IRA. All the renewable technology stuff is made in America. That's part of the IRA. And Biden's also mandating that they give, I think it's like paid maternity leave or something like that with it. So revitalizing rural industries is good, but that's also why the Democrats, who had been getting destroyed in the Rust Belt the past few elections, this election, in this previous midterms, they did really well in the Rust Belt because all those jobs are coming back. So if I'm being kind, he's saying he wants to speed that up. But, you know, like I said, 200,000 jobs were outsourced under him. Launch a baby boom with bonuses for young parents. Look, he was president for 4 years. He had Ivanka Trump telling him to do similar policies to this. Do paid family leave, do paid maternity leave, paternity leave, paid vacation time. He didn't do it. He was told by his own daughter repeatedly, do it, do it, do it. He didn't do it. So now that he's out of office and he's got a virtue signal to say good things to get in, now all of a sudden oh yeah, baby bonuses, totally, bro. It's a great idea. And then beautification campaign, get rid of ugly buildings. The ugly building ones is a little difficult, because that honestly is totally a matter of personal taste. I mean, there's some things that it's kind of unanimous or ugly. I'm on board with. If you want to change that, cool. But a lot of stuff, like, people just have different tastes in what kind of architecture they like. So for what Trump means is the things that I don't like, let's get rid of, and let's put in things I do like. But look, we've all seen Trump's taste. It's like tacky and gaudy to the max. It's like all gold, everything. It's over the top. It's like he thinks he's a king from like the 1200s or something, right? So I don't necessarily agree with his eye on that. But in terms of beautification campaign, that I have no problem with. I mean, look, I like the idea of, you know, having like an agency where it's people's full-time job to like let's make this place look as beautiful as possible. Let's clean up all the garbage, make sure all the landscaping is nice, and like I'm on board with that. And I have no idea why we don't have already a massive federal agency that's specifically geared towards that. I do know that in many instances we literally use prison slave labor to do stuff like that, which I don't like because I'm anti-slavery. I don't know. Controversial take here on the Kyle Kulinski show. I'm anti-slavery, but write it down. I'm taking a bold stand against forced labor, even in prisons. Okay, so there you have it. This is Trump's new idea. If I'm being kind, there's a handful here that I can get on board with, but the majority of them are either silly or he had the opportunity to do it, but he didn't do it, or he's lying. So there. Take it for what it's worth. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.